Here we go.
Hello guys, I decided I'm gonna do. I've done this before. Usually around summertime, I do martial arts. I usually do like movies from the 80s, 90s, action classics. My first year, I did the Van Damme films, Cigar films, Arnold films, some Stallone films. I did some BC, I did a Billy Blanks marathon last year. So this year, I'm gonna do. I will continue on the world film. Wise Likers will be on my channel on Thursday. Probably Thursday or Friday, Wise Likens and Awakening. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm planning to do Wise Likens by Friday and Awakenings on Saturday. So the Underworld film will be hopefully done by next week at the latest, Underworld films. I'm planning to do Bruce Lee marathon. In the wake of Chuck Norris' death, naturally, a Chuck Norris film. I will do a Dragon hopefully tomorrow though. Start my Chuck Norris marathon. I've done one or two Chuck Norris films already on my channel. I've done Missing in Action and Delta Force. So I think this summertime around maybe April time, I might just do Chuck Norris marathon, or Chuck Norris movies where he's the leading actor in honour of him. But first, I want to do the Bruce Lee. So summertime. So the Bruce Lee marathon, I'll mix some a channel will consist of Underworld films as well as the Bruce Lee films. So today is first leading film, The Big Boss, which is the first time I've seen this film. I've never seen Big Boss before. Interestingly, my introduction with Bruce Lee from my father, my father was a massive Bruce Lee fan as well, was Ray the Dragon, which is the first Bruce Lee I've watched with Ray the Dragon. Majority of Western fans knew him either as a Green Hornet or Red the Dragon. I actually watched Ray the Dragon first, and the Dragon afterwards. Then years later, I watched Fist of Fury. I've never seen Game of Death, or even Game of Death infamous for not being incomplete. That enters the original Game of Death as well as a sequel, Game of Death 2, which uses footage from the other films. But Big Boss is his first leading role actually. The first film, which made him a Hong Kong star. And this film had an interesting story. This film actually only had a budget of £100,000 and made 50 million worldwide. So made New Zealand more than its budget. And this film was directed by Louis. I think he also directed Fist of Fury as well, another classic Bruce Lee film. This film, Bruce Lee is he plays an ice factory worker whose cousin is like a community leader, and his cousin gets him a job at his ice factory he works at, which is run by a notorious crime lord, aka the Big Boss, which is named this film. Hai So Chun? No, what's the Hai So Mi, played by Hang Yi Chi. And one by one, the factory gets missing, which are all part of his cousin's crew. And his cousin goes to the Big Boss, find out where his workers are. He finds out that his workers have been murdered. Him and his colleague friend try to fight off the henchmen of the Big Boss. Unfortunately, they get killed. The Bruce Lee's on a mission to find out the disappearance of his cousin. Initially, he fights off the henchmen of the foreman of the factory. Him beating the foreman with quite ease makes him the new foreman. It's like a supervisor basically of the factory. Then he gets invited to a party with the Big Boss. He gets drunk, gets involved with the prostitute. The prostitute tells him what's really happened. The Big Boss is a drug trafficker and his cousin was murdered. Bruce Lee, sadly, his family gets murdered, all his cousins get murdered. He gets vengeance, fights the big boss and kills him. Police arrive, and that's the end of the story. So a simple story, but very effective. It's a Chinese Western big boss set in the 1970s. And I love this film. I love this for Big Boss. First I watched this film, and it's my favourite Bruce Lee film. I think I think they're all good. All the ones I've seen, I've seen all the big Bruce Lee. Apart from the only one I haven't seen is Game of Death, which I'll review later on afterwards. I think I'm gonna do Radio Dragon next in either Game of Death or Enter Dragon. I'll do last. I'll set aside. I'm going to Enter Dragon last. I've seen the film a lot of times, and pretty much know the film start to finish. Enter Dragon it was very popular as a kid. It showed a lot of time on TV as a kid. Enter Dragon, it's the most very iconic martial arts film. So it's on TV a lot as a kid. So I've seen it many times. But Big Boss, first film. Then I think I'll do Radio Dragon. I think I'm going to do Game of Death, then Fist of Fury, then the Dragon last. Well, Dragon will be next in my Bruce Lee marathon. So like I said, but Big Boss, 9.5 out of 10. Only a 5 because I wish... I don't know. No, 10 is perfect. It's a perfect film. I'm a sucker for it. I want to know what happy ending. When the family gets killed, I feel it's just too much for me. I'm a sucker for a happy ending. You just get his revenge, but especially the kid getting killed, but a tear to my eyes. But it's a solid film, 10 out of 10. Martial arts classic, Bruce Lee at his best. Is it my favourite? I think it's between Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon. That's my favourite Bruce Lee films. Enter the Dragon's always choice. Red Dragon I like. Between Red Dragon, Fist of Fury, those three. I watch Red Dragon again. I think I like between Enter the Dragon and Fist of Fury, my favourite Bruce Lee films. But Big Boss is excellent start to the Bruce Lee marathon. And Bruce Lee's first leading role. I mean, a Hong Kong star. He does have a love interest in this film, which I get confused because love interest looks like one of his cousins suddenly gets killed. Now Mile, he doesn't have a name, but he's the love interest. He also started another Bruce Lee film, I believe. Did he do Fist of Fury? She did Fist of Fury as well, which I believe was Bruce Lee's love interest in that film as well. Like I said, I just love this film. I love this film. Oh, sorry. Chow Mei, Bruce Lee's female cousin, just survived. She's the one that gets captured by Big Boss. The love interest, you don't see. You see he has a hallucination when he's drunk. We don't actually see again in that last part of the film, other than the hallucinations when he's drunk. But like I said, I really enjoy this film. Big Boss. I really enjoy. Originally actually called Fist of Fury, funny enough, in the United States, which is the same title as Bruce Lee's film. But Big Boss, excellent start to the Bruce Lee marathon. First lead in the film. Bruce Lee can do no wrong. And Elsa Migos till next time.
Stay here. I'll be back.